kickoff from the Republic of South Sudan. The acting National Minister for Labour, Public Service and Human Resource Development, Kwong Daniel Gatluek, has hailed the good relations between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of South Sudan. Honorable Kwong said Kenya had not only played a crucial role in the signing of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement which resulted in independence for South Sudan, but had continued to support human capacity development in the country through various forms of technical assistance. Moving over to Lesotho, the Prime Minister, Dr. Motsoahe Tabane, says Lesotho will continue to assist countries which are still fighting for independence until they achieve their goals. Addressing the media in Maseru on Friday, Dr. Tabane said he went on an official visit to Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic last week with the intention to give moral support to the country as it is struggling to get independence from Morocco. In Lesotho again, the Ministry of Public Works and Transport, in partnership with Lesotho Communications Authority, known by its acronym LCA, launched the Southern African Development Community Decade of Action of Road Safety on Thursday. The plan of action is aimed at reducing road traffic injuries and deaths which are claiming many lives. Kenyatta has urged leaders not to put their interests above those of majority Kenyans. President Kenyatta said leaders should focus on improving the lives of Kenyans instead of fighting for higher pay even before the real job starts. Kenya again, President Uhuru Kenyatta has appealed to members of parliament not to push for salary increment at the expense of serving Kenyans. Revisiting the issue of salary increment for MPs, President Kenyatta said once the members of parliament deliver their pledges and the economy grows by double digits, Kenyans will have no problem paying them the salaries they want. Today in Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama on Friday 17 May gave the assurance that government would in the next few months fix all the challenges that had confronted his administration from the beginning of the year. He said the economy had been resilient in the face of those challenges and that government was tapping all necessary avenues to restore stable long-term electricity supply to the citizenry. In Ghana again, Switzerland has provided the sum of $5.35 million to support Ghana's export capacities in the fruits, cocoa, fish, wood, and furniture value chains. A statement issued by the Swiss Embassy in Accra said the support forms part of United Nations Industrial Development Organization, known by its acronym UNIDO, Trade Capacity Building Program. Kickoff from the Republic of Lesotho. Lesotho, like other countries, appreciates an important role played by the Information, Communication and Technology (ICT) in socio and economic development. These were the remarks of Acting Principal Secretary for the Ministry of Communication, Science and Technology, Mrs. Maseko Bella Williams, when addressing a meeting of senior officials hosted by Lesotho for the Southern African Development Community SADC ministers responsible for ICT and postal services in Maseru yesterday, Monday. Moving over to the Republic of Ghana, it reveals that Ghana has called on the African Development Bank ADB to open more offices in countries where it operates to ensure the free flow of funds for development projects. Alhaji Limuna Mohamed Minuru, the Upper East Regional Minister, made a call on behalf of President John Dramani Mahama at the launch of the ADB water project at Dakola in Burkina Faso over the weekend. Still in Ghana, the Minister for Communications, Dr. Edward Omane Bohama, has pledged the unflinching support of the communication sector in the development and use of Intelligent Transport System (ITS) to improve the safety, management and efficiency of road transportation. Dr. Omane Bohama also called on all stakeholders to prioritize the implementation of policies that took into account ICT stands to enhance road safety and promote awareness among road users. Moving over to Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has said Africa must check the huge funds being illegally taken out of the continent. President President Jonathan was speaking to a delegation of the United Nations High-Level Panel on Illicit Financial Flows from Africa at State House on Monday, 20th May. Still in Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan has challenged banks in the country to fund infrastructural development in Africa. President Jonathan, who was speaking to the Group Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of EcoBank Transnational Incorporation, Thierry Jonahat, at the State House on Monday, 20th May, said the continent's private sector must play a more robust role to quicken the development of the continent. In the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, the President of Liberia visits Equatorial Guinea. As part of the excellent relations of friendship, cooperation, and brotherhood that Equatorial Guinea maintains with other nations, the city of Malabo received on May 19 the official visit of the President of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, at the invitation of her counterpart and Equatorial Guinea brother, His Excellency Obiangwema Mbazogo. President Uhuru Kenyatta has today said the government is committed to deepening the healing and reconciliation process in the country. Speaking when he received the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, known by its acronym TJRC, final report at State House, Nairobi, President Kenyatta said the government would take the recommendations of the report seriously while its content would be public. Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta reaffirmed his government's commitment to the proportion of state contracts reserved for the youth and women to create jobs and wealth. President Kenyatta was addressing roadside meetings at Kenol, Juja, Ruuru, and Kiambu town during a Meet the People tour of Muranga and Kiambu counties. Said public procurement laws would be amended to allow 30% of all government contracts to be given to the youth and women. Moving over to Equatorial Guinea, the official webpage reads, "Message of condolence from the President." The Equatorial Guinean head of state has sent a message of condolence yesterday, Tuesday, to the President of the United States, Barack Obama, for the death of 24 persons and more than 200 injured and material losses caused by the tornado that flattened Oklahoma City in the center-south of the country. In Equatorial Guinea, the mayor of Malabo campaigns in Sampaka. The inhabitants of the town council of Sampaka met last Monday in the town hall in order to listen to the message that the mayor of Malabo, Maria Koloma Ejang, in the company of other leaders of the PEDG, such as Evangelina Oyo Obule, transmitted to them in view of the upcoming elections that will be held on May 26th. Over to Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama has reiterated Ghana's commitment and willingness towards ensuring peace and security in the West African sub-region and the entire continent. He said Ghana would also remain loyal to the protocols, political and socio-economic blocs within the continent. Minister for Information and Media Relations made this known during a media briefing at the Jubilee launch of the Kotoka International Airport in Accra. In Ghana again, the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has appointed Haile Menkerios of South Africa as the new head of the United Nations Office to the African Union, UNOAU, and special representative to the African Union at the level of Under Secretary General. Menkerios will replace Zachary Muburi Muta, who will complete his UNOAU assignment on 30th June. In South Sudan, Dr. Shaka Sali, a famous host of Voice of America's Straight Talk Africa, has urged foreign journalists to report fairly on Africa. In a meeting with the Minister of Information, Dr. Barnaba Maral Benjamin in Juba on Monday, 20th May, Dr. Sali said all news emanating from Africa is skewed to continue what he says furthering neo-colonialism mentality. Lesotho, a political expert from the Commonwealth of Nations, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, paid a courtesy call on Lesotho's Prime Minister, Dr. Moswahe Tabane, in Maseru on Monday. The press secretary in the Prime Minister's office, Tabo Takalekwala, said Dr. Prasaad's visit in Lesotho is to give reports on his observations pertaining to the stability of the coalition government since its formation. The Prime Minister, Dr. Motsoahe Tabane, says Lesotho and South Africa have agreed for the Polihale Phase 2 water project to proceed. Making a statement in the National Assembly on Tuesday, Dr. Tabane said once the coalition government came into power in June last year, they resolved to review and scrutinize the agreement concerning this project that was signed on August 11, 2011 by the previous administration. Moving over to Ghana, President John Dramani Mahama yesterday received 5 ambassadors who were at the Flagstaff House, Accra, to present their letters of credence to begin their duty tour of Ghana and to strengthen their diplomatic relations. President Mahama reiterated government's commitment to cooperate with all her diplomatic partners within and outside Africa to promote trade, commerce, agriculture, and investment. In Equatorial Guinea, Liberian President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf returned on Tuesday to her country after finishing the official visit to Equatorial Guinea, the second one that she makes to the country. The farewell ceremony was accompanied by the signing of a memorandum and different cooperation agreements between the two countries in an act that was carried out in the presidential pavilion of the Malabo Airport in the presence of various political, financial, and administrative authorities. In Equatorial Guinea again, the Prime Minister Vincente Ehate Tomi received early Wednesday, 22nd May, in his office of the presidency of the government to the delegation of the Electoral Observation Mission of the African Union, which came to supervise the conducting of the senatorial, legislative, and municipal elections on May 26. Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday at State House, Nairobi, met the Agricultural Society of Kenya, known by its acronym ASK, executive committee members who paid him a courtesy call. The committee, led by the chairperson Alice Kalia, briefed the president on the society's 5-year strategic plan and the challenges the organization faced in the discharge of its mandate. Kenya Regain President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday, 21st May at State House, Nairobi, received a report on the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Ethnic Violence in Tana Delta District. The report was presented to the President by the Commission Chairperson, Lady Justice Grace Nzioka.